we're about halfway through our trip from Scotland down to England. First, we're going to visit Oxford, the university, the town, overflowing with history dating back nearly 1,000 years. Then the following day, we're going to visit the magnificent Blenheim Palace before swinging by Cambridge and then ending our night in London. So, let's get to it.
A quick stop by the Eagle and Child pub, where the Inklings, C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien and others would gather to share their work and discuss the things they were working on. Sadly, it's no longer open. COVID killed it, but maybe one day the pub will reopen. Where are we going today? What is this place?
We're about to enter into the New College Chapel.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the chapel is going to be the dining hall, which is famous for inspiring Harry Potter, and then head to the gardens and cloisters.
All right, you lead the way. We're here in the cloisters here in New College in Oxford. These buildings date back to the 1400s. And this tree, I'm told, is best known as serving as the inspiration for a tree in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Much like I mentioned earlier, I have not seen nor any Harry Potter films or read any Harry Potter books, but this is a place of quiet meditation and conversation, but also, in case there was any debate, still a working college. As evidence. So one of the guys was just telling us that there's just a few weeks out of the year where they have big rowing events, and that if you are successful, you have the right to chalk up your success on the wall, but there are only 5 spots available. So, as you can see, 2 of them have fairly recently, I would assume, been removed to make way for future success who will have the opportunity to add their rowing success. I'm going to go on a light stroll through the gardens here. Fast we stay off the grass and do not climb those steps, which obviously only makes us wonder, where do they go? Besides up. And of course you can see the wall there in the distance. Everywhere you go, you get a sense of how old this is. Classes have been taking place in some form or another here for nearly 1,000 years. And many of the buildings here date back hundreds and hundreds of years. So, very different than anything we have back home.
Lewis Carroll, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah?
The Wonderland Walk. Carroll wrote it, going through gardens around Oxford.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So probably around every nook and cranny of this place, there's something that inspired some legendary piece of literature.
Yeah. Insane.
So these are the original walls that have been here, dating back to the 12th century. Still surround the garden here. the beautiful Blenheim Palace. This is the ugly scaffold from a concert series that was taking place, and it looks like they're taking it down. So, Blenheim Palace is named for the Battle of Blenheim. It was won during the War of Spanish Succession by the Duke of Marlborough. Not the Marlborough Man that we're familiar with back home. And this palace was built as a gift to him. You can see there are cannons everywhere to highlight his military exploits. But due to the victory over the French in that war, the decision was made that any palace that would be built here would rival any palace in France. And so this is, Blenheim is to England what Versailles is to France. Later, the palace wound up in the hands of the Churchills. It is the birthplace of Winston Churchill. So, we're going to do a quick walkthrough and see the long history of this. Hopefully it'll be a little bit quieter eventually. And we're going to learn about the Churchill history, the history of the Duke of Marlborough, and then we're going to take a look at the gardens as well. But concert series aside, this really is an incredibly impressive entrance. So let's go in. This walks through the whole history of the Churchill family. Of course, not just Winston, who lived here at Blenheim. Including his curls. That's what he looked like as a child.
The world would become into a lasting darkness. We both knew we had to discover the enemy's battle plan while receiving them as to our own. And we had to strike with great speed and great hopes. The Battle of Blenheim and D-Day proved the success of our strategy. In 1940, I was invited to become Prime Minister. Hitler was poised to invade. It was Britain's darkest hour. I told the nation I had nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. But that I knew that in resisting the Nazi threat, this would be our finest hour. For this, I grew all the lessons I learned through history. From the first Duke of
Here is
Marlborough.
the document of honorary citizenship given to United States citizenship given to Winston Churchill by President Kennedy in 1963. So Blenheim Palace is the only non-royal secular palace in the UK. This is not a home of a king or a queen. This is not part of the church. I'm going to head back here to the back corner, see if we can't find the Rose Garden and the Churchill Memorial Garden. Here we have the Temple of Diana and Churchill Memorial Gardens. So, let's walk through. As you walk through there, a bit of a timeline highlighting different moments in British history, but also different moments in the career of Winston Churchill himself, who of course was born here at Blenheim. Of course, it was in 1940 that he became Prime Minister, right after the start of World War II. We're going to go to the Churchill War Rooms later and learn more about his time as Prime Minister. Here we are in the Rose Garden. As impressive as these roses obviously are, I think the tree in the background might be even more impressive. While walking back toward the palace, we found a pheasant working its way through the field here. So we're going to say goodbye to Mr. and Mrs. Pheasant right over there. Hope you can see them. We're going to head back over toward the palace.